Nithyanandam. So my name is Nithyananda and I'm talking to you again from the Nithyanandeshwara Mahasadashiva temple. If you haven't already watched my video on English in phonetics, go ahead and do that first because this is like a second part to that. I want to talk about education, but this time language. What language is really about and how beautiful it is. See, language is one of the ways we communicate. I stress on one of the ways because there are moments when communication happens even without words. Why we've all felt it. We've felt that a hug that you get with your mom, when you sit down in the car with your dad and he's taking you around to go for an ice cream, when you're having fun and playing sports with your siblings and you're throwing the ball around and playing football. There are moments where you don't speak, yet you're interacting and being in communion, right? So, language is just one of the several pieces of communication. The problem with language is oftentimes we get caught up in thinking that language is the only way to communicate. Like words are the only way we can express something or maybe talk to someone. But that's not true. I just gave you examples of that. Uh, and because we get caught, we gives ourselves words and others words that we don't necessarily want to say. Like I would have said something to someone that I don't necessarily mean. I don't want to say that. I would have said something about myself to myself that I don't want to say. Um, but because I have, I start believing it. And that's when the whole circle stops. So if I say to myself, I'm sick and I can't get up, then what to do? My body starts believing I will fall sick and I will not get up. It's an idea that I gave to myself. And that's what will happen. And then I will just see, it definitely happens. Language is a very tricky thing. Whatever you say is going to, come back because you start believing it. If you start saying something to yourself very often, you start believing it. Swamiji says that's our stupidity. If I was to tell you that you're rich, you're rich, you're rich, you will start believing it, whether you have 1,000 rupees or not. If I say to you that you are angry, you have this anger inside of you, all the time fighting, you will start believing that about you, whether or not it's true. And if you start to say same things about anybody else, it will be the same again. So what we say, how we say it, how many times we say it, whether we say it right or not, whether we choose to repeat it, all of this matters because that is what is going to create your reality, your belief, and your idea of the world. So, when teaching language and when you're in a class, let's not focus on the words. Let's focus on what the words are conveying. What emotion is it bringing up in you? What emotion does it bring up in others? How does it impact someone else? What is it about what you're going to say is going to shift in their life? How is that shift going to lead them to what they want to achieve? Language class can be so interesting and can be so much fun if only we start thinking more on what we are conveying, how we are conveying, and how a language gives us that freedom, that beautiful, lovely freedom to come in communion with someone. Let's focus on that, not the words, not the grammar. Grammar and all are just the tools. The real understanding of a language is how will my word affect you. Thank you so much for listening and for clicks like this. For a lot more education, listen to Paramahamsa Nithyananda 8 p.m. IST daily on nithyananda.tv. Thank you, Nithyanandam.